welcome to this edition of Turf Core Concepts. In this video, we will continue our discussion of aerification benefits with thatch management. Let's first define thatch. Thatch is the organic matter layer above the soil surface and below the turf canopy. Thatch is composed of a combination of dead organic residues and the living roots, crowns, and stems of the grass, as well as microbial biomass and other organisms in various stages of life and decay. In this image, we see the thatch layer on top of the soil and how a combination of thatch and compacted soil has an impact on the root depth of the plant. Thatch becomes a problem when it accumulates beyond a depth of 1/2 inch. Thatch accumulation occurs when new tissue is produced at a greater rate than it can be decomposed. Various management practices are the primary culprits in thatch accumulation. The most prevalent is excessive nitrogen fertilization. Excessive rates of nitrogen easily result in a production of biomass that exceeds the rate of decay. Excessive watering and chemical imbalances disrupt the functionality of microbial populations. Microbes are responsible for the decomposition of thatch. Plant protectant product applications can also harm non-target species. Earthworms in particular burrow through the thatch, which results in natural aerification and a mixing of the soil and soil microbes through the organic layer. Additionally, not all fungus hurts turf. Most fungi are saprophytes that feed on dead organic material. So managers must be cognizant of how a management practice will impact the thatch levels. Lastly, a note on clippings. Research has shown that if mowing occurs at the proper intervals, returning the clippings does not have an appreciable effect on thatch accumulation. Thatch must be managed because it can be both beneficial and detrimental to turf health. When thatch is maintained at 1/2 inch or less, it provides a medium for beneficial micro and macroorganisms. Thatch can provide cushioning for the surface. This is not desirable on a putting green, however, it can be useful on sports fields. Last, thatch is a natural filter. This characteristic helps hold materials for use by the plant while also limiting leaching and runoff to water bodies. On the other hand, excessive thatch has several negative effects. Thatch inhibits the root system from penetrating deeply into the underlying soil. Thatch can prevent air, water, fertilizer, and plant protectant product infiltration into the soil, which could result in an increased input. Thatch is a good medium for several turf pathogens that begin as saprophytes, such as Pythium blight and summer patch. Thatch acts as an insulator for crowns and can put the plant in a compromised position during periods of temperature fluctuation. And thatch can make the turf puffy, which increases the susceptibility to scalping during mowing. Finally, thatch can become hydrophobic when it dries, and this will prevent water from infiltrating to the roots. This is very prevalent on slopes. Ultimately, excessive thatch results in an overall weak plant with increased susceptibility to abiotic and biotic stressors. Thatch is managed through a combination of cultural practices and mechanical removal. Utilizing industry-validated best management practices is crucial. First, soil tests make informed nutrients applications and monitor soil pH. Next, spoon-feeding nitrogen prevents over-application. Third, water judiciously by monitoring weather projections and supplementing overhead irrigation with hand watering. Finally, avoid calendar-scheduled plant protectant product applications. Scout for disease and insect infestation to make well-timed and targeted applications. This aids in the prevention of application to non-target species. In terms of mechanical removal, core aerification is effective at reducing thatch when tines are spaced closely. The net effect of core aerification is to physically remove the thatch and open the thatch layer to allow moisture and oxygen in, which increases the microbial activity responsible for thatch decomposition. In this image, you see that after a core is removed, thatch still remains. However, the plant now has unimpeded access to the soil through the aerification holes, and water and oxygen are now available to soil microbes. The take-home message for this video is that thatch in the correct concentration is beneficial to the health of the plant. Thatch accumulation is largely the result of cultural management practices. Core aerification is an effective method for reducing the negative effects of thatch. However, core aerification is not a cure-all for excessive thatch. The cultural management strategy must be adjusted to support the decomposition of the thatch. Otherwise, thatch will accumulate beyond the rate of decomposition. The following resources were used in the production of this video. They are listed in the description. This has been Turf Core Concepts. Thank you for listening.